Be kind to your mind. Here are some tips to reduce stress and promote well-being. Breathe. Pause. Reflect. Connect with friends and family. Keep to a healthy routine. Be kind to yourself and others. Reach out for help if you need it. And watch balls in your face marketing with this week's guest and wellness expert, Jennifer Watson.
She talks about mental edge enhancement, movement and change adaptation, as well as soul-aligned living. So Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Julian. It's an honor, pleasure to be here. I love chatting about this stuff. So thank you so much for having me on.
It's my pleasure. And we're due. As I said, I've done some episodes in the past about psychology, mental health, and so forth, all before COVID ever started. We haven't done an episode about this. So I think it's obviously a great time to talk about wellness. But let's get right down at the sort of the ground level and say, what do we mean by wellness?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Most of the time before COVID, even before COVID, we thought of wellness just I'll call it in the physical realm. That's where we think of wellness. We think automatically of health, physical health. How are we feeling physically in our body? What are some ailments we're having in our body? Or maybe we have weight loss goals. Like, we're just always about the physical space. Now, I will say, in the last 10 years, we've really catapulted wellness to a new space where the stigma with mental wellness, how to support mental wellness, has broke free a little bit. And I'm so excited to see that. And we've seen more summits and more information and knowledge on incorporating that into wellness. But we still had this tendency, right, to think of, quote, wellness in a physical realm. This year, obviously, has really catapulted us to not only look at physical wellness, what we can do to optimize our physical health, but realizing what mental wellness really means and the power of it. People have really struggled with mental wellness. I'll just say emotional wellness, feeling emotionally stable this year, and they're getting it. They're like, wow, this mentally emotional, what I feel unstable in, is affecting my overall health, not just my mental, but actually my physical, and then my job, and then my relationships. So wellness, first and foremost, has been brought to the forefront this year for people to really get it. They were starting to get it, but this year really get that wellness is physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. Like, what do I believe about myself? And when you're breaking down in any one of those four components, and maybe all four, because we've all had that a little bit this year, we have to know how to dial that in and really honor where we're at, and then have tools to really create stability and overall wellness. So that's where we're at. And I think when we get that this year, it's really helping people create this new space of empowerment for themselves, even during a year that's been so up and down and fluctuating. There's a lot of power in controlling your wellness, and you can do that. I tell a lot of people, health and wellness is free. Health and wellness, some of the greatest tools out there are actually free. Yes, you can get coaches, you can do so much different things with food and diet and meditation and, counseling, all these things, which, by the way, some people need additional support in, but there's a lot of things you can do right now. And I always say the power of three. There's three things that can feel really empowering for you, that can get the biggest bang for your buck, but not be overwhelming. So the first thing that I tell everybody to create mental, emotional stability, which is going to help, again, physical and overall wellness, get quiet. Get quiet. Get quiet. And that sounds really funny, Julian, but what happens, again, when you're freaking out, I'm not doing about whatever you're fearing about, you get yourself in fight or flight. You're not thinking about anything objectively. You have to be willing to get quiet. And that's scary for people, because then they have to feel the feels of the fear they're feeling. But when you sit in a room by yourself, feet flat on the floor, and you're just willing to feel whatever that fear, anxiety that you're having right now, that emotional instability, and just feel it. For one, they've shown this in research, it dissipates more quickly. But two, when you get yourself in a calm state, quiet state, it brings in what we call more your parasympathetic mindset. You're calm and clear, your aligned mindset, versus the sympathetic run from a bear. So you're always going to make better decisions, more creative ideas of how to get out of this current state of where you're at will come to you. So you got to get quiet. And when I say quiet, it's like 5 minutes. People are like, I'm paying you the big bucks to tell me to get quiet for 5 minutes. I'm like, yes, you're but it's hard for a lot of people because it feels yucky, because you have to be willing to sit with the fear for a little bit. So get quiet is the biggest thing. Okay. The second thing you want to do is you start writing down what you are grateful for on that particular topic that you're having fear about. Let's just say, Jennifer, I have so much anxiety about, I just lost my job. I don't know where we're going to put food on the table. Like, I'm really freaking out. It's creating so much emotional, mental instability. Great. Sit with it. Get quiet. Get quiet. Feel it. You're a human being. You're having a human experience. Honor that. When you're quiet, now get out a pencil and a piece of paper. Write down what you are grateful for right now that has everything to do with that fear. You know what? I don't have a job right now, but right now I have a roof over my head. Right now, I do have food on the table. Right now, I know I've been through hard times before and I still have a roof over my head. Does that make sense? So you're writing down things, 2 or 3 things that you're really grateful for that has to do with that particular topic that you're having so much anxiety about. Guess what's going to happen next? On the flip side of that paper, we're going to do the third thing. All of a sudden, you're going to get one idea. Oh my gosh, what can I do right now to actually make this a different story for me? You'll be surprised. In this job example, I've done this myself. Like, oh my gosh, this friend just told me about someone that needed this help. Even if it was a 2-week job stint, it's still money. I might call her today. Does that make sense? So you guys really listen to this. Get quiet when you're feeling mentally, emotionally unstable about a fear you're having this year. Get really quiet for 5 minutes. Get out a piece of paper. Write down 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for that actually have to do with that fear. You'll be surprised what you can be grateful for, even with that fear. Then it's going to turn on this creative brain in your head. Writing down, getting grateful always does that. And then will give you opportunities to think of things you can do on the flip side of that paper. 1 thing, 2 things. This is what I can do to create a job opportunity. This is what I can do. I'm telling you, this works every day of the week, Julian, and twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
This basic.
So Jennifer, how can people find you?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm the most active on LinkedIn and Instagram at Jennifer Watson Leadership. I answer all my own DMs. So anytime you need additional support or you have questions on what we've talked about, I love to continue to support people. I work with people one-on-one, to group, to teams and businesses, to so many different high performers, and I love what I do. So any way that you want to get a hold of me, the best is through my social media platforms, Jennifer Watson Leadership. But you can go to my website if you want to learn more about some of my different coaching programs, jenniferwatsonleadership.com. So I'd love to hear from you guys and get feedback on this episode for sure.
Absolutely. And I will for sure put links to those, to your websites and your social media accounts up above or below, depending on where they appear, on what platform. I really appreciate you giving your time and sharing these ideas and thoughts. I think it's been really a helpful discussion.
Thank you so much for having me, Julian. It was a pleasure and honor to be on your show. Thank you.
My pleasure.